Madre John, Ned, and Juanito sitting in the doorway of my tiny house on the edge of the Acamal Pueblo. Daylight is just starting to come up over the jungle. This part of the Pueblo was carved out of the jungle. We're not actually in the jungle, but we're real close to it. There's a lot of jungle energy here. And I think I could add more light and make it easy for you to see me, but I think the motif of imperfect lighting or kind of dim fits with what I'm going to say. I spent time, 3 hours I think yesterday, with a guy named Andreas, who's a German expat. He's lived in the Pueblo here for 3 years. He's in many ways a marvelous man, but he is intoxicated with fear and anger. I'm sure he doesn't realize how much of his time he spends with his brain in the sewer, because he believes in positivity. He will say things like, what you put out is what you get back, and that's exactly right. And he's got many wonderful qualities. He treats people beautifully, and he has real good Spanish. It's his third language, I think. He's German, and then he knows French and Spanish and English. He really knows the area. He introduced me. We went for a very long walk. It beat the shit out of my body. But he showed me places I didn't even realize were there, some beyond my usual range of walking, and some that I just passed by without ever noticing what was there. And he loves nature, loves the ocean. So he's got a lot of great qualities. And what last night, when I realized I had been infected, when in the middle of the night I got afraid of noises outside of my house, I went, that's Andreas. That's your inner Andreas speaking, because you don't think those kinds of thoughts. So I was going to just drop him and say, no, I'm not willing to spend time with you anymore. But what I realized just now is, no, we'll give him a challenge. Spend a week noticing how much of the time your brain is consumed with fearful or resentful or angry thoughts. And if you get really sick of it, if you get horrified, only when you are genuinely horrified at the state of your consciousness, and the only thing you fear is your own brain, because that's what's fucking you up big time. When you realize that you're fucked up big time, I'll spend time with you, but otherwise no, because I'm not going to try to take your precious resentments away from you. It's too hard work. And it reminded me of a great teaching story. George Uspensky, the great Russian mystic, documented in the book Meetings with Remarkable Men by P.D. Uspensky, which I've never read, but I know a lot about it. The great story from that book is that when he met with Gurdjieff, he said, I want to be one of your students. And Gurdjieff said to him, I notice how addicted you are to smoking. If you go away and spend a year not smoking, you can come back and be my student. So he did. And those of you who have wrestled with smoking know how hard it is. I'm a smoker, and I'm not addicted to smoking. Thinking about this made it really clear to me. I give them up on a regular basis when I have no money for them, and I survive fine. I smoke because I want to smoke, because it's good for me more than it's bad for me, and I talk about that elsewhere. So Uspensky went away and dried out and came back, and Gurdjieff said, great. And he pulled out this beautiful pearl engraved box and offered him a cigarette. And Uspensky says, what are you doing? You said I can't smoke if I'm going to be. He said, I didn't say you can't smoke. I said you need to get over your addiction. You need to master that addiction. There's nothing wrong with cigarettes. It's your addiction is the problem. Bye-bye.